Greetings, internet! Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. If this is your first time watching me, hello, my name is Jordan and I post booktube videos. I have been gone for a little while, but when I post videos for you guys, I want to be able to provide you with the highest quality videos that I can possibly provide. And I was noticing in my last few videos, the lighting was looking a little depressing. And so I definitely wanted to fix that situation before I continue to make and post videos, because I want to post something that I can be proud of. So I have since then bought some new lights for my room, so I'm hoping that that will definitely improve the light situation and make it more pleasant for me to film and more pleasant for you to watch. Since I have been gone for a little while, I wanted to come back with something fun, so I decided to scrounge BookTube and find a tag that I liked. And since you guys can tell from that bad boy behind me, I am a Harry Potter fan, I decided I wanted to do the Harry Potter book tag. Without further ado, let's get into it. Question 1 is, what is your favorite Harry Potter book? This is kind of a hard one for me because I love every one of the books for its own reason, and kind of depending on my mood, I love one book a little more than the next, but I think my general answer when people ask me is number 6, The Half-Blood Prince. And it's my favorite, I think, because I love all the backstory about Voldemort and learning some of the backstory about Dumbledore. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. You kind of start to get some ideas. And I like how learning about the backstory of Voldemort really makes him seem like a more relatable character, because up until this point he is kind of like mysterious and shrouded in mystery and just like this villain with like no rhyme or reason. And you get like a little bit from Tom Riddle in the second book, but not a lot. So I really like how you kind of get his origin story, and I find it really fascinating. Question number 2 is favorite movie. Now, my favorite movie is also my second favorite book, and that is The Prisoner of Azkaban. I think it's my favorite movie just because it is. I really like how they portray a lot of aspects of the movie, such as the map that Fred and George give to Harry. You guys know what I'm talking about. Sirius Black comes into it, and he's one of my favorite characters. Number 3 is least favorite book. If I had to choose a least favorite, I think it would definitely be number 5. And that is my least favorite for 2 reasons. 1, needs no introduction, Dolores Umbridge. Number 2, the death of Sirius Black, and all the emotional turmoil that Harry is witness to after that because of his death. I just was not happy about it, and I just pretty much, when I reread that book, I just skip that chapter. Question number 4, what parts of the books/movies made you cry? Honestly, I think the death of every single character made me cry. Varying degrees of sadness were felt. I think my most emotional moment for sure in the books and in the movies was the death, spoiler, of Dobby the Free Elf, because he was seriously one of my favorite characters. I totally loved him. I loved his hats. I loved how sweet he was. I loved that he totally embraced his freedom, and that does make me happy because it feels like he went out and he lived his life before it was sadly cut short in a heroic way. But, you know, in the second book, Harry asks Dobby not to save his life, or try to save his life again, and he says of course, and then he dies, what do you know, trying to save Harry and all his friends. So it just had me going in a major sob fest. I was reading the books, I was like falling apart. I like needed 2 boxes of tissues. And then when it gets to the part where Harry digs the grave by hand because Dobby deserves that instead of using magic, and then he writes on the gravestone, "Here lies Dobby, a free elf," I was just like, oh my god, my heart. It's crushed. And I'm not even sure if I've covered all the way yet. So the next question makes me laugh. It is, if you could hook up with any of the Harry Potter characters, who would it be? And this is sort of a hard question because I don't know really. I feel like on one hand, probably Harry, because I kind of have a thing for guys with messy dark hair. But on the other hand, I gotta be honest and say that Neville has like always been one of my favorite characters from the very first book. Obviously in the very first book he's 12, so that's not happening, but you know, at this day and age, he would be like 30 something, which also might not be working out, but you know what I mean. Next question is favorite character, and I kind of go back and forth on this depending on what mood I'm in. Most of the time I say Fred and George Weasley because I think they're hilarious. I love their relationship with each other, and I just love how like all the teachers don't even like blink an eye with their crazy antics anymore, and I think they bring a lot of necessary jokes and joy to the books. But I also love Hermione Granger because I feel like she brings something so necessary to literary female characters, because she shows young girls that they don't have to be involved in a plot line just to be a love interest. They don't have to be involved in ridiculousness where any sane normal person is just like, why are you doing that? They don't have to be reliant on anyone else. They can use their own smarts, their own books, their own brain, and just totally save the day over and over again. And so Hermione is just awesome, and I love her and what she represents. Next question is, what would your Patronus be? And I think mine would have to be an owl because they are my favorite animal. I think they're super cute, and they also hold a really cool role in Harry Potter. And so I would love to have a little owl pet and have an owl Patronus with little glasses, and he can fly around and attack my enemies. Next question is, which of the Deathly Hallows would you choose? I think I would have to go with the Invisibility Cloak because it just seems so useful and sort of practical as far as Deathly Hallows items go. But at the same time, I have not ever lost anyone really close to me before, and I feel like my answer might be the Resurrection Stone if that were to happen. So right now I'm gonna go Invisibility Cloak. In the future, my answer might change. Next question is, which house would you be in? I have taken the quiz on Pottermore 2 times, and one before the whole Pottermore redesign, and one after the whole Pottermore redesign. And Pottermore has, in both times, placed me in Ravenclaw. However, if I take any other quiz, like BuzzFeed or just random websites, I usually always get Gryffindor. So I guess there's a little bit of Gryffindor in me, but I'm gonna trust Pottermore above all else. So I am a proud member of Ravenclaw, and I am happy with that because I feel like Ravenclaw really embraces the random and unique aspects of pretty much all their students, and I definitely have some of those, so I feel right at home. Next question, if you could meet any member of the cast, who would it be? That would have to be hands down Emma Watson. I think she is such an inspiring person. I love her activism and how she stands up for women's rights and how she proclaims to be a feminist and really has such a good argument about what feminism really means that she can just change the mind of anyone. Like anybody who's like, oh no, I'm not a feminist because I don't hate men. And she's like, dude, you don't have to be a feminist who hates men. Feminism is about equal rights for both genders. It doesn't have anything to do with hating men. And then people are like, oh, okay. She's just like so good at convincing people of her argument, and I love that she uses her persuasion for good, I guess. And right now she is actively activating her He for She campaign, which is about campaigning to get men more active in women's rights. So if you want to know more information about that, I will leave a link down below to the website. Have you played any of the Harry Potter video games? So I actually, first time I read this question, I was like, oh no, I haven't. But actually, now that I'm remembering, I had a Nintendo handheld, and it was the Game Boy Advance, and I'm pretty sure I had a Harry Potter game for that because I'm like remember like playing and having like a little guy walking around, and he had like a little robe that kind of blew behind him, and you like walked around like these kind of dark like rooms and you found stuff, and then I suddenly had a wand and I could like shoot spells and break vases and find stuff. So I have no memory of what that game is called, and I don't think I have it anymore, but yes, I have played a Harry Potter video game. If you were on the Quidditch team, what position would you play? This is sort of a laughable question for me because I am not very athletic. So realistically, I don't think I would be on the Quidditch team at all. I think I would be someone who like waved a flag, or maybe I could be an announcer, but definitely not somebody who had to actively participate in the game because I would probably just lose for my team. But if I was going to pick a position, I would probably choose Seeker because I wouldn't have to like, my phone made a noise. I wouldn't have to like get actively involved really with other members of the team. I could just kind of like do my own thing and try to find the golden snitch within a reasonable time, and that seems like probably the best option for me. I have pretty good eyesight, so I got that going for me. Were you happy with the ending? I feel like I was. I feel like maybe not the movie ending, because I think the death of Voldemort was sort of on dangerous ground here, stupid, compared to the book death that he had. So I didn't really love that. And then I think it's really kind of lame that in the movies Harry breaks the Elder Wand before fixing his own, because now isn't he out of a wand? And so when that was happening, I was kind of like, why? But but in the book ending, definitely, I was very happy with it. I thought it pretty much tied up all the ends that I could remember or cared about. And I really love the epilogue, the 19 years later. And the only thing I think that would have made it better for me was, I've read somewhere that J.K. Rowling was like this close, can you guys see that? This close to including Harry's cousin Dudley at King's Crossing with his own magical child. And she said she decided not to do it because she feels like Harry's Uncle Vernon's blood would have killed like any magical genes that could have possibly been transferred to Dudley's child, but I actually think while that might be true, I think it would have been really cool to see that and to kind of just like see Harry, you know, walking through King's Crossing with his kids and just give kind of like chin nod like, hey Dad, nice kid you got there, you know? I mean, I think it would have kind of like brought it all together and I really would have been happy with that. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers. And the final question, how much does Harry Potter mean to you? And this, I think, is probably a loaded question for everyone. It doesn't mean maybe as much to me as it does to some of the other people in my generation, because I think I've mentioned before that I was not someone who read the books throughout my childhood like a lot of people my age did. So it's not a story that I grew up with, so it doesn't hold a lot of that childhood significance in my life, but it does to a certain extent because I always knew about it. It was kind of always around, and I had a lot of friends who read it, so they told me about it, and at the time I might not have totally absorbed it and remembered the significance, but it was still there. It was still a part of my childhood. But now I think I love it for all the reasons a grown-up loves Harry Potter, and it's how well it addresses a lot of social issues and how entertaining it is while doing that, how it puts a lot of political ideas into the minds of children, but not in a way that's super boring, but it just like advocates for the rights of all humans and the rights of all people, and how it's important to stand up for people who might not be able to stand up for themselves, and how you should give everyone equal opportunity and you should provide everyone with equal love, because someone who might not seem like an important character, like Neville in the beginning, might get 5 points for his house for standing up to his friends, and then he might play a super important role in a revolution, and a slave at the beginning of a book series like Dobby might end up dying a hero's death. So okay, well that's going to be it for today. I will leave the questions to this tag down below if anybody wants to look at them and do this tag yourself. Everyone who's watching this is tagged, so if you like Harry Potter, feel free to do this tag, and if you don't have a channel or you don't post videos or anything, you can just leave your answers in text form in the comments because I would love to read them. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos from me, hit that little red subscribe button and I will love you forever and send you an internet hug. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I will see you in my next video. So thank you so much for watching. Mwah! Bye!